Well, hey there to my patrons, the people that waited a year. This is the raw video version of Fix My Carcast, number, 132. About to kick this one off. This is the one that I have to do like a locker room speech. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. I know nothing about sports, but I've seen some sports movies. Space Jam, Airplane probably counts on a technicality. I've seen a few. I've seen the Rockies. I've listened to the Rocky IV soundtrack a lot, so I know a thing or two about sports. Anyway, let's get this one a crack-a-lackin', shall we? Oh wait, did I get the thumbnail? Gotta get the thumbnail first. All right, here we go. I gotta look extra inspiring. Guys, we can do this. Yeah. I don't know if my inspiring face is just an angry face, but we got this, you guys. Yeah. We can do this. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Do I just look insane? Probably. All right. Don't need the clipboard right now. Need the notes. Opening line. Clear eyes, half Nelsons, can't lose. And then this is where the theme song goes. If you're new to this, there's an audio version that's like this, but you can't see it. And I don't know, maybe there's some sound effects or something. I'll have to find like a locker room reverb effect to like really sell it. And then like put the sound of like lockers going ka-smash and stuff like that. Do lockers do that? Do they go ka-smash? I don't know. Let's see what happens. Go team. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 132. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert just ate some lightning and is rushing to the bathroom to crap some thunder. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. When you feel like you can't win, all you need is something to show your team colors, and you're on Team Fix My Carcast. And don't you forget that. We have a new donor this week. Thank you, Adri, for donating $17. Great job, Adri. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is now $2,312. Also, when we get to $3,000, it unlocks an automatic show gimmick, which is I will record an episode at sea. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $10,000? We shut them down because we can. Hey, do you like the theme song? No? Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless somebody else changes it back. Want me to make it sound like an inspirational montage? I'll do it. $50. Also, if you would like to own the painting I made in episode 118, I'll be giving it away to the next person who donates $100 or more. That's right, own a piece of Fix My Carcast history while you still can. The painting is not in the room currently. We have a new patron this week. Sorry, doesn't happen often, so I got flustered. We have a new patron this week. Thank you, Matt, for joining at the $1 level. Congratulations, Matt. Here's hoping you enjoy all the perks that come with being a Bear Claw bystander. And hey, you can become a Bear Claw bystander right now. Just $1. You get to order me around for $1 a month. I do it. It's such a good investment. It's way better than Netflix. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is capitalism. Want to know more? Donate today. Checking in on the best city in the world based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and we've got us another singles night tie. Ties are broken by whichever city listened to the most episodes, and our big winner is Westbrook, Maine. Congratulations, Westbrook. Maine. Let it be known that your Golden Dome, Basilica of the Sacred Heart, and Touchdown Jesus are the best in the world for 7 days. Last episode, I talked about the Disney Channel original movie The 13th Year while recording it at the Auburn Walmart. You can see video of all the raw footage plus a little extra over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about what exactly is so special about the Auburn Walmart. It's a pretty good one. You learn a lot. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are: organize my purse, do a John Mulaney impression, read listener reviews aloud, and our returning gimmick, incorporate 25 sea creatures. Let's review. That's number 1, organize my purse, and she is messy. Number 2, do a John Mulaney impression. I'm not going to do it right now. You got to vote for it. Number 3, read listener reviews aloud. Now, at this moment right now, I don't know if I have any. I haven't checked. I think I got one like way back when the show started. So if you vote for that one, that's your cue. You need to leave me a listener review and I will read it on the show no matter what it says. So get to those reviews. And number 4, the returning gimmick, incorporate 25 sea creatures. I will have to hide the names of 25 sea creatures within the episode. See if you can spot them. All right, remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, July 18th at noon Eastern America time. All right, time for today's gimmick, which is do it like a locker room speech. You know, the scene in every sports movie where the coach pumps the team up to get out there and win in the second half. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the gimmick zone. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. Today's topic comes to us from Adri for $17, and I've been asked to talk about Season 3, Episode 8 of the professional wrestling docuseries Dark Side of the Ring, entitled The Plane Ride from Hell. What is going on out there? What are we doing? What are we doing, boys? This is the sorriest performance I have seen in my 18 years of coaching. What are you doing out there? I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell. I know you guys are better than this. This is just an absolute disaster. You know what this reminds me of? You boys ever heard of the plane ride from hell? No? Well, I'm going to tell you about it. Because right now, this feels like a plane ride from hell. The plane ride from hell is a night in WWE history. It is one of the worst plane rides ever recorded in sports history. I was going to say of all time, but worse things have happened on planes, but stay with me. I'm talking specifically about the private 757 out of London, absolutely full of wrestlers. Yeah, big talents. Like you, all of you are huge talents in the making, but you're not there yet. And this is a cautionary tale. Now, if you want to learn more about this, it was covered in Season 3, Episode 8 of Dark Side of the Ring, a wrestling docuseries. It's worth checking out. But here's what I need you to know from it. We're talking a plane with an open bar, naked dudes, fighting, haircuts, wrestling boys being wrestling boys. No. Don't you smirk. Don't you smirk. Tonight is about growing up. Tonight is a lesson in maturity. Because what I saw out there on the field, disgrace. Have you no shame? Well, guess what? You know who else didn't have shame? a bunch of these guys. Let me tell you a little something. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why I carry a clipboard when I need to see all the notes at once, but you know what you remind me of? Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence. Ric Flair, PJ Polacco, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Brock Lesnar. What do they all have in common? Well, for starters, you've heard of them. You're not there yet. Nobody knows who you are. So this is your chance to straighten up and fly right. I see you smirking. Yeah, that was a plain pun. But I mean it. Because guess what? These fellas, they were world famous. They were going on a world tour. They were superstars. And I know you can be superstars. You don't need all this fooling around out there on the court. You need to focus and think about what's at stake. You need to think about where your life is headed. Now, this plane was headed to Connecticut from Europe, London specifically. This was May 2002. They went to Europe for 4 days. Everyone was stoked to just do some classic wrestling. And I know you boys know a thing or two about just some classic athleticism, just going out there and getting it done. Now this was a customized flight. There was a flight attendant named Heidi Doyle. And you know what? Heidi Doyle is everyone in that crowd expecting you to behave and expecting you to exhibit some professionalism. Okay? Now I know we're not in the big leagues here, okay? I know you're young, you just want to enjoy your youth. Well, guess what? For the next half of this game, you're going to win. Because that's what tonight is about, okay? Once the game is over, you go be yourselves. But right now, focus up. You've got to make this happen, okay? Because what I saw out there, let me tell you what, okay? These guys were on a very swanky jet. They had a private jet so that their rowdiness wouldn't bother other passengers. So they're already starting from a place of mistrust. Everyone expects you to be fuck-ups. Yeah, I said it. You can say it once when it's PG-13, okay? But you, that's not what you are, okay? People expect you to be boneheads. What's the stereotype everyone has about an athlete? Big, dumb lunkhead. Well, guess what? Sometimes you need to be a lunkhead because the only thing on your mind should be winning. But you can't see that. You can't focus. Kind of like all of these guys on a plane on their way to Europe. Now, they behaved themselves on their way to Europe. Think of that like the first half. But their second half is not going to be what our second half is going to look like. No siree. So they go to Europe. They have a great time. Rob Van Dam on the flight. Mike Chioda, the referee. And there was a weather delay issued for Connecticut. Delayed for 7 hours. Now, you'd think anyone would start getting squirrely after just a couple of hours stuck on a plane. So you get it, but it's not an excuse. Yeah, it's hard out there. You're up against a lot. They're bringing the thunder, and you're letting yourselves get rained on. You can't do that, okay? You need to be calm, right? Centered, focused. You can't start freaking out just because of a little rain, okay? And yeah, they're big, scary storm clouds. But what are we? That's right. The name of our team that you all just shouted. So these guys are on a plane, right? And they have full-size bottles of alcohol on a cart. They finish 2 carts full of booze, and they order a third. So, 7 hours waiting on the tarmac, and they have all collectively drank 3 carts of alcohol. there's their first mistake, okay? You can't be doing that. You can't just be jumping to the dumbest idea, okay? You gotta think. You gotta remember. Yeah, you're getting antsy, but that's no reason to just completely screw everything up, okay? You have got to be exemplary. Now, in the case of the plane ride from hell, the wrestlers were serving themselves food, drinks, you name it, and they were popping pills. Because a lot of wrestlers, they go to these shady doctors and they get things like GHB and Halcyons. Do you kids know that when you drop a Halcyon in a drink, that's called an H-bomb? You can slip it to a friend if you want to pull a prank on them, or something far more nefarious. Now pay attention, okay? Life isn't all sunshine and roses, and you could get in real trouble if you don't focus up. So Michael Hayes was an agent on the flight. He took a Halcyon and he punched an injured wrestler named Bradshaw. He had a wound and it reopened because he punched him. And again, they thought it was just funny. You know, it's not funny, all right? This is immaturity at its worst. That's what I'm seeing out there. You're all running around playing grab ass. You need to focus up. Remember the plays. Kowalski, where were you running down the center? Will you give the puck to Jones? That's the thing. If he hit you, I wouldn't be mad. That's the kind of thing. It's like, if you mess with someone, they're gonna hit you back. So you gotta think about that when you're out there, okay? Don't just pick one opponent and try to run them into the ground, because they will retaliate. It is a battle. And you have got to be victorious. What you can't be doing is something like Sean X-Pac Waltman, who cut off Michael Hayes' ponytail while he was asleep. You know, they were so bad on those wrestling flights. Their behavior was so heinous. It was a well-known thing. You do not fall asleep on a WWE plane. Do you want that kind of reputation? Because guess what? You only have to screw up a couple of times and then you've got that reputation. You know who's a bad team? Us. And it's not even our performance, it's the way we act out there. They can see us on the bench, not taking things seriously. Well, guess what? You need to take this seriously, because you need to take your lives seriously. Do you even care about the game? Look, we all love this sport. We all played with the ball that we use in this game when we were kids, okay? We have that shared camaraderie. We have that respect for each other. But then it all goes out the window when we get just a little rowdy. Like when Curt Hennig put shaving cream on Brock Lesnar's head. That's what I'm seeing out there. You all look like a bunch of idiots with shaving cream on your heads. Yeah, I said it. And I'm not supposed to call children idiots, even though I want to all day. That's not fair. You're not children. Tonight, you become adults. The rest of your life is ahead of you. And you need a plan for where you're going. Because I can only give you a playbook for the game. I can't give you a playbook for life. That's something you write yourself. Oh, and I should tell you that Brock picked up Curt Hennig and slammed him around the cabin, which almost disrupted the functionality of the plane. The wrestlers were yelling over the PA. The pilots were running back to stop the flight because they could potentially damage the fuselage and depressurize the cabin. Now that seems extreme, but that's what happens when you don't consider your environment. You gotta be paying attention. You gotta be looking around the whole court. You gotta be looking from one end of the field to the other. You have gotta be covering every inch of that rink with your eyes. You've got to be paying attention. You've got to be seeing what's going on, because you don't want to get in an accident. And it gets much worse. Like on the plane ride from hell, Terry's ex-husband Dustin started singing "Pledging My Love" by David Allan Coe over the PA. I am embarrassed when they play our school song. Honestly, it's about as embarrassing as someone's ex-husband singing a David Allan Coe song over an airplane PA. I hate to see it. I hate to say this. I'm losing faith in my own institution, okay? I don't know. I don't know if we can pull back from this. It's the last game of the season. Do you really want to go out last? Yeah, that's right. We have not won a single game this season. So let's just get one. Let's just show that we're not losers. I mean, we're losers in a sense, but we don't want to be 100% losers. When you have true talent, you know what you don't do? You don't sell it. What do you mean that doesn't make sense? I don't know. I heard it in a wrestling docu-series. I kind of still don't get it. Now look, we can't be helicoptering our dicks out there like Ric Flair. Something he really did and made the documentary kind of hard to watch. Now, I don't even know much about wrestling. It is a very real sport. But I don't know who these people are. But I am ashamed of them. If I met half of these people in real life, I would not give them the time of day. But the only time you need to be worrying about is the time on the clock. Folks, when we get out there, we have anywhere from 7 to 35 minutes to wrap this up and go home with just one victory. Can you do that? Can you do that? Look me in the eye and tell me we're taking home a victory tonight. Yeah, because I want you to be proud of yourselves. I don't want you to be like Ric Flair, who thought that it was a joke to walk around with an open robe and flash everybody. That's not okay, all right? The shit you're doing, that's old school shit. We don't do this anymore, okay? We're champs. I mean, right now we're not, but just one win. Just take home one win. And I don't want you denying allegations like Ric Flair, okay? I am accusing you of horseplay and tomfoolery. And I need less of that, and I need more winning. We have got to get that score up. We don't have Goldust to get on the mic and yell at Rick to leave the flight attendants alone. We got me. And yeah, I might yell a little bit, but it's because I want to be proud of you. That's all I want. You're probably thinking, hey, coach, it's just a game. Yeah, well, the plane ride from hell was just a flight. But it was a terrible flight. And guess what? There were repercussions. I'm coming to them. I got paid a lot to be your coach tonight. So I paid close attention to the plane ride from hell because I knew there were life lessons all throughout it. Scott Hall had substance abuse issues. He ripped open Heidi's shirt, said he was going to lick her. Disgusting. Disgusting. I don't want any behavior like that from any of you, now or ever. That is no way to behave, even if you've been H-bombed, which, again, as I mentioned, is a beverage with a halcyon in it. Ultimately, they were on that plane for 14 hours. 7 on the ground, 7 in the air. Headed to Connecticut, the worst place in the world. They came from London, they went to Connecticut. What a downgrade. But honestly, that's kind of what that first half was. Started strong, right in the crapper. Full Stepford Wives. I've exhausted everything I know about Connecticut. Scott Hall had to be taken out in a wheelchair and rolled through customs. At one point, they thought he was dead. And some of the people in the crowd probably think you're dead. Can you look your families in the eye and tell them that you're doing your best out there? Even half of your best. Can you say that? At the end of the flight, the plane was covered in blood and syringes. And that's honestly what it feels like out there. It feels like the audience has to wade through the fluid and the trash that you are giving them. Do you hear them out there? No, you don't. Because they're disgusted by your behavior. And I hate to say it. I hate to have to go here. I am too. Disgusted is the word. This is not a team that cares. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you how this plane ride ended. Because, son of a bitch, they got him. Jim Ross, Vince McMahon, they had to give them all punishments. You want to know what happened to them all? This could be in all of your futures if you can't figure out how to be real adults. Kurt got fired for his practical joking, and sadly he passed away. He went out a laughing stock. Do you want to be a laughing stock? You should be a cheering stock. You should get the crowd on their feet. You don't want to end up like that. Scott, also fired for his behavior. Dustin Rhodes, he was spitting tobacco into a seat cushion. He got fined. He didn't get fired. They felt that was only a finable offense. Ric Flair suffered no repercussions whatsoever because he was a made man. But guess what? The truth always comes out. Whatever you're doing behind the scenes, the talk going around the locker room, maybe somebody's using performance-enhancing substances, maybe somebody's sabotaging the other team. The truth always comes out in the end, and now we know this about Ric Flair. We may not have known back in the day, but now we know. And history will judge him like history judges you. SportsJet, the company that owned the plane, they instructed Heidi Doyle to respect the privacy of their clients and not talk about the incident. And you know what? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Because guess what? Respect is earned. I'm not going to keep secrets. I'm not going to pretend like you're all giving your all. You know you're not. Look at yourselves. Look at yourselves. You can do better. You can be better. We don't want the crowd out there ending up like Heidi, struggling to talk about this with her family, having to lawyer up. Do you want to end up in jail? You could. You really could. If you behave like you have been out there, it could happen. Thankfully, Heidi Doyle had a settlement, but you know what? She said she wishes the truth got out instead of her getting some money. And honestly, the truth is more important than money. Yes, some of you may go on to incredible careers, and you'll never have to worry about a thing for the rest of your lives because you have the most important talent that a human can have: putting a thing in another thing. When they land in Connecticut, they have another show in 24 hours. I can't believe this. The ponytail was taped to a locker room door. Honestly, that's what it felt like out there tonight. I feel like somebody cut my hair and then taunted me with it. Am I a joke to you? I hear giggles. Are you laughing at me? I'm a high school coach. The second most important job you can ever have. We already established athlete is number one. Well, the plane ride from hell served as a cautionary tale to the next generation of wrestlers. And thank goodness. Who are some of your favorite wrestlers that are now actors? The Rock, John Cena, Dave Bautista. Because they know, well, that making movies is probably even better than sports, but that's not important right now. They know. You can't misbehave like that. And people like to play the "it was a different time" card, but there's only one time, and it's right now. So here's what I want to see. You coming together, committing to being better, not being an embarrassment. Are we embarrassments? Are we embarrassments? No, what are we? We're winners. And what we're going to do is win. Now, how do we win? We go out there and we win. That's right. That's how you win. You tell yourself you're going to win. There's no dark side to this ring. It's all a bright, shining light. Now let's get out there and let's shine. Who's with me? As always, don't drink anything on a plane full of wrestlers. I hope the sweatiness sold it. If you want some behind the scenes, I am after hours at my job, where I build stuff. And I taped a sign to the door that says I'm filming an instructional video because I learned nothing from Auburn Walmart. I'm not asking permission to film anything because that's not real filmmaking. Wait, is this filmmaking? Podcasting? Art? Dying of capitalism in real time? Anyway, I got an eviction notice this week. Check out the bonus episode.